Welcome back to FM Story. This is episode 3 of our Athletic Club save. In this episode, we'll find out who wins the World Cup and whether we can push on following that victory against Barcelona in the last episode. If you do enjoy the video, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And without further ado, let's get going. So, we've made it to the end of the World Cup, and along the way, there was a few surprises. So if we have a look at the group stages first, it's probably not much of a surprise in the Group A, other than perhaps Qatar not finishing bottom of the group, although that's only because they scored one more goal than Ecuador, and basically finished above them on goals scored. Potentially surprising that Wales finished bottom of that group, thanks obviously to England and USA drawing against each other. Not really much of a surprise, although Poland, you would probably argue between Poland and Mexico as who would finish runner-up in that group, but it was Mexico. Denmark, the first real big casualty in terms of teams you'd expect to qualify who didn't, losing up to Tunisia and France there in the qualification race. Germany finished above Spain on goal difference, even though Spain didn't concede a goal in the group stage. Group F probably went the way you would kind of expect it to. Then probably the biggest surprise, Group G, Brazil only finishing third in the group. Just the one win, which came against Cameroon, and obviously getting beat by Serbia and Switzerland, getting hammered by Serbia, in fact, 3-0. And then Group H probably went as you would expect. So then moving on to the second round. Netherlands beat USA, you would expect. Argentina beat Tunisia, you would expect. England beat Senegal. France beat Mexico. The Croatians beat the Germans on penalties. Uruguay hammered Serbia. It's quite a tournament for Serbia. They beat Brazil 3-0 in the group stage and then get hammered 5-0 by Uruguay in the second round. Spain sneaked past Belgium, and Portugal beat Switzerland. Moving on to the quarterfinals, the Netherlands beat Argentina, the Uruguay beat Croatia after extra time, France beat England, and Spain overcame Portugal in a bit of a thriller in that quarterfinal stage. Semi-finals, the Netherlands beat Uruguay, and France beat Spain pretty comfortably. The third, fourth playoff, Uruguay overcame Spain, and in the final, the Netherlands beat France 2-0 after extra time. So, in terms of the awards, the Golden Ball for Best Player was dominated by the French, despite the fact that they didn't win the tournament. So, Kylian Mbappe, Player of the Tournament, followed by Nkunku, followed by Mike Maignan. So, the best goalkeeper, obviously Mike Maignan, as he was the third best player in the tournament. Golden Shoe for most goals, Mbappe, and Nkunku, and then Rafael Leao, who managed to score 5 goals in just 3 appearances, which is quite impressive. Best young player was Kenneth Taylor of Ajax for the Dutch. Goal of the tournament was Marco Grujic in the group stage, and then the team of the tournament was basically mostly Dutch with the odd French player. Interesting one is Wout Weghorst up front. So he scored 2 goals, which were both in the game where they beat Argentina. 7 games, 2 goals, and 6.93 average rating doesn't really smack of the dream team when you look at some of the other average ratings. But basically, like Mbappe, Rabiot, and Nkunku for the French team, and all the rest the Dutch. So they obviously had a really good tournament, and they'll be hoping that happens in real life, obviously. And then in terms of countries who've let their managers go after the World Cup, Mexico, Germany, Poland, Spain, Argentina, and not surprisingly, after getting knocked out of the group stage, Brazil. So plenty of big name countries looking for new managers. But now it's time to return to the season and see how we can get on with Atletico. We've got a game coming up against Elche, and then coming up in January, we've got a couple of big games against Villarreal and Atletico, both at home. It would be important to get something from those just to really push on and sort of solidify how well we've done at the end of the spell just before the break. We did have one game already in the Copa del Rey against Atletico Belarés. Basically, we pretty much started a fully second team, apart from Danny Vivian was needing to start because of injuries at the back. Julian John Guerrero, we've recalled from loan, and he put in a brilliant performance, 2 goals, 1 assist for man of the match. So he's probably going to potentially stay with us in the first team squad for January, and we might send him back out on loan towards the end of January. But going forward, we've got the Elche game next, and then a couple of big games in the league in January as well. Going into the game against Elche, we're picking pretty much the same, very similar team to the one that's played the last couple of games, keeping the same formation, same shape, in the hope that the international break, the break for the World Cup, hasn't completely broken everything. Okay, hopefully we can get off to a decent start as well. Not much happening in the first 10 minutes. It's been 1 shot. We've had lots of the ball. No decent chances though. Yuri to Inigo Martinez. Striding forward to Ander Herrera. Inaki Williams. Kappa on the overlap. And Herrera's lost it, but then won it back. Oh, and Morcillo onto the roof of the net. Muniain with the free kick. Oh! We've won the ball, but they've got the knockdown. We've won it back. Kappa on the right hand side. Back to Vivian. Herrera. Try to find Raul Garcia, but they've headed clear. Muniain. Inaki Williams through. Oh, and the keeper makes a good save. Decent first half. They've not really troubled us. We should have been more clinical, and we should be in front. Again, a quiet start to the second half. Not much happening. They're on the attack though. Look at the ball. Venkador to Kappa. He's great run on the right hand side. Oh, and the keeper saves from Villalba, but he was offside. Collado with the free kick. Oh, and we've somehow scrambled that clear. How we've not scored, I don't know. And we have. Inigo Martinez in the 5th minute, as 4 minutes added on. Towering header from this corner. Gets up at the near post. Gives the defender and the goalkeeper no chance. And we've somehow snuck the win. We deserved it, but really we made that as difficult as we could possibly make it. But the important thing is we've got 3 points. We're about a month on from the game against Elche, and we're currently sat 5th in the table. Everything's gone pretty well since that game against Elche, up until the last game against Villarreal. We could have been in a much better position for that game. Actually, we could have been up in 4th and in a Champions League spot after that game. Unfortunately, we lost that one. But since the game against Elche, we beat Real Valladolid comfortably in the league. We were 3-0 up at half time, then 4-1 up, and they nicked another goal back to make it 4-2. We picked a second string team against Murcia in the second round of the Copa del Rey, and basically were very, very, very lucky to take it to penalties, and in the end managed to go through on penalties. We followed that up with a game away at big local rivals Real Sociedad. We went behind early and equalised straight away. Then we went in front. Then they equalised. Then they went in front with a great goal from Kubo in the second half. And then Sunset came off the bench for us and picked up 2 goals in 5 minutes to see us victorious 4-3. We followed that up with a comfortable 6-0 win away at Miranda's in the Copa del Rey. A bit of a mixture between a first choice team and a reserve team there after the last game. Didn't want to go full reserve team like we did against Mathia, but did better this time around. And we've drawn local rivals Alaves in the 4th round. And then we followed it up with a game against Villarreal in the league. We went behind in the first minute. Then they scored again. We nicked one back before, just on half time, but we didn't create enough to be able to see us through, or at least see us get a draw in that game. And next up, we've got Atletico Madrid, who are currently sat 2nd in the league. Obviously, we're sitting in 5th. So it's going to be a tough... Oh, sorry, they're sitting 3rd in the league and we're sitting 5th. It's going to be a tough game. Obviously, we've played Real Madrid and got hammered. We managed to beat Barcelona, so hopefully we can follow the same sort of principle against Atletico Madrid and pick up another victory. As we said, going into this game against Atletico, we're in 5th, they're in 3rd. Hopefully the home advantage can see us win and close the gap to them. Obviously Real Sociedad are playing Real Madrid, so we might be able to leapfrog them with a win as well. We're going in with a very similar team to the one that's played in the last few games. The one player we are missing is Venkedor in the sort of defensive of the more 2 midfield roles. Moncayola's coming for him because Venkedor's out suspended. Obviously, it's a decent team that the opposition are able to put out, so it's going to be a key to start the game well. It's interesting to see Cadiz at the bottom of the table with just the 1 point so far after 17 games. Okay, Vivian with the free kick to Ander Herrera, out wide to Inaki Williams. He's cut back onto his left hand side to Moncayola, back to Inaki Williams, deflected, and Ander Kappa's there to turn it home. The right back getting forward. So Inaki Williams cuts inside, plays it into Moncayola, who gives it him back. He tries to play a pass by the looks of it. It bounces off the defender, and Kappa slots it home from a narrow angle. A great start. Just got to stay solid and not concede, don't do anything stupid. Kappa to Inaki Williams. And Herrera, Kappa, Muniain. Somehow managed to keep a hold of it, and somehow all blocks kept it out. We've nicked the ball back. Muniain forward to Raul Garcia. Their defender misjudged it. Oh, it's clear off the line. I think we're going to have to start taking some more of these chances. I'm slightly concerned at the number of chances that we're not taking here. Herrera on the edge of the box. And All Black saves again. Alright, 1-0. Basically, although they've had a lot of the ball, we've pretty much dominated. I'd be much happier if we take another chance, because the more chances we miss, the more I suspect they're going to turn around and nick 1 or 2. Raul Garcia is going through a bit of a bad patch at the moment, so we'll take him off and bring on Villalba, who has played well when he's played in the cup games. Otherwise, we'll send out the same team for the second half. Vivian striding forward into Muniain, Herrera, Villalba, back to Herrera. What a start to the second half that is. 22 seconds and we've got a goal. Nice little interchange there between Herrera and Villalba. And thankfully Oblak didn't stop that one. Okay, well, Muniain lost out. Moncayola recovers it. Right, Javi Lopez, new signing. Muniain. What a finish. 3-0. Javi Lopez we signed as a youngster, I think from Alaves. Just because all the left backs we had were over 30. He's 20, and he's actually come straight into the team rather than we thought he would probably sit and maybe actually even go back out on loan. Atletico have only had 2 shots in the whole game. Javi Lopez still going. Inter Milan in acres of space. Oh, and he blasts it over the bar. Right. Martinez cuts the ball out. He's going to be suspended for the next game. Moncayola to Yuri, who's just come on. Through to Vilabra. Right, Llorente wide. Dogby did well there. What a goal that is. Gotta say. Picks the ball up in the centre circle, goes past one, drives forward, past another, and then drills it in the bottom corner. Oh, Moncayolas nicked it. Vilabra must score this time. Oh, deflected behind for a corner. Right, blow your whistle, ref. That's it. Brilliant. 3-1 win. Straight back on the winning run after losing to Villarreal. And that should take us up into 4th. And it's closed the gap on Atletico Madrid in 3rd as well. Yep, so we've jumped ahead of Real Sociedad because they lost 1-0 to Real Madrid. And we've closed the gap to Atletico Madrid. I think looking at that, Real Madrid and Barcelona are certainly out of sight in terms of anyone behind them. But if we can keep this good run coming, we could potentially finish above Atletico Madrid. And that's it for this episode. Join us next time. We've got a bit of a decent run towards the start of next month. But following that, in the next episode, we've got big games coming against Valencia and Real Madrid. So we'll see you then.